All right, welcome back to episode 12 of the Rally Report podcast. We're doing it, people. We're getting real close to getting someone in the top 10, and it doesn't get closer than today's guest. Was wondering earlier in the day whether today's guest will be faster in cracking the top 10 or me getting someone from the top 10. We'll have to see. But anyway, big time player joining us today, ranked 15 in the world, best left-handed player in the world right now, and top player from Princeton. Welcome, Youssef Ibrahim.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and looking forward to answer all your questions.
Yeah, I'm really excited to have you on. I've been on kind of a roll. I had Chris Hansen on the other week. He's left-handed. You're another left-handed player. Fuck it. I think it's going to be only left-handed players from now on. And I'm left-handed as well.
Wow,
so
that's awesome.
Pretty neat stuff.
Yeah, it's good to hear. There aren't many of us these days.
Yeah.
So support left-handers all the way.
But are you back on campus now? Are you back from Houston?
Yeah, I'm back. I just got back 2 days ago. So because we have a matches this weekend, and we have a pretty big match against Harvard. So yeah, we're just started practicing.
Gotcha. So before we get into that, I wanted to do a quick recap about how you felt about the Houston Open and your match against Youssef Soliman. How'd you feel about that matchup?
Well, I felt like in phases, I felt pretty good. I'm honestly not, physically 100%. Some tournaments, I have a long-term knee injury that I haven't figured out how to heal it yet. It's been going for over a year now, but sometimes it's it doesn't hurt and sometimes it does hurt. So I felt like my movement wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. But also, I thought squash-wise I was playing well, especially the first game. I was up, but mentally I had a mental patch in the mid-first game where I hit a lot of errors, and that wasn't when you play a guy who's also in the top 20, has been knocking on the doors for so long, he can't give a lot of freebies. So he pretty much earned that first game, and from that point I think we were also close in the third and the second, but he just managed to play the big points better. I'm not feeling so down after that loss. I think considering what I felt on the court, I pretty much gave it 100%. It wasn't the best day in the office for sure, but it's just it is what it is. So he deserved that win.
Yeah, I was curious. Are you starting to feel that you're in a position where you're feeling pressured when you're going to these big tournaments, especially of where your ranking is at right now?
I would say I felt like this probably back in the US Open when I was playing in October. I think when I got into the top 20 and I went back to college, so I changed my routine totally. I'm not training as much as I used to when I was in Egypt. So I have felt that I needed to train more here because, as you know, there's a lot of studying, so you don't really focus 100% on training all the time because you have other commitments. Yeah. So I felt that I'm under pressure a little bit because I have to perform better, or if not the same level, I had to perform better to prove that I deserve to be in the top 20. So when I played that tournament, I put a lot of pressure on myself. And then I talked to it about my coach, and I was just trying to enjoy it as much as I can. When I played Qatar, I just it was completely different mindset. I was not I felt like I wanted to be the underdog, to think that I'm the underdog again, and that makes me play more freely. So yeah, but I definitely felt that in the beginning a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you're only moving up from the rankings, so I guess it's going to be something you have to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been keeping up with the squash news lately, Youssef? Because I just heard about the Mostafa Assal 2-month ban. Are you up to date with this?
Yeah, I saw it today in the morning.
Yeah. I wanted to hear your thoughts on this whole situation, and because I think a lot of people are very upset. There's part of me that feels that there's a lack of transparency, especially with squash being a public sport, and even though it doesn't get millions of hits, it is public. And I think, I hope the PSA gives a reasoning behind what's happening, but I want to hear your thoughts on it as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think for this sport to go into the next level and try to be an Olympic sport, we have the need like people need to know what's happening, because I think the statement from the PSA was pretty vague. And for whatever reasons, I don't know, like, I don't know the exact case. Like, everyone is assuming why did that happen? I know in the beginning it was because of his match with Momin in Qatar, but I'm not sure if that's the case anymore because, like, I didn't know that they were going to ban him right now and for how long. Like, I didn't know any of that. But, yeah, I would like to hear more about the situation. I'm definitely not feel bad for Mostafa because he's been playing pretty well lately. He's definitely good for the sport, and if there's any controversy about his game, like, I feel it shouldn't be like the reaction shouldn't be like 2 or 3 months later. Like, if it's in the same match, he should get a conduct warning, conduct game, even conduct match if they see that there's a valid reason to give him these punishments or these conducts. But for me, like, to wait for 2 or 3 months and then rewatch the videos or the match or whatever, is pretty harsh on him. So
yeah, no, I agree. So do you guys, as the players, do you guys have a voice or a place where you guys can like submit your complaints about certain stuff like this?
No, we don't have any power about the PSA regulations. They just do whatever they do.
They're really act on their own. It's not that great to hear, but
yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to now quickly transition into, your Princeton, what's going on with Princeton. And you just mentioned about your matchups this weekend. You have a big matchup against Harvard as well. And I think you guys have a really good team this year. And a lot of people are counting you guys out, but I think you guys shouldn't be. And you guys are undefeated in the season so far. But how excited are you about the team right now?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm actually, I think I've said it a lot of times that I would rather win, national championship with the team than win any of the big tournaments like PSA or make a big win for me. Like, to this season especially, we have the best team that I had in my 4 years, so we're super excited to compete for titles. I think our team is good enough to take down any team. Hopefully they just give 100% on the day, and yeah, we're the team is super excited. We had COVID outbreaks like a couple of days ago, so we didn't have guys on the team for this week, but hopefully they can make it on Harvard's match. And we're almost gonna play full lineup, but anyways, we're just super excited to perform and prove that we're a top team this season.
Do you know who could potentially be out for you guys?
I think we're pretty much, our number 9 is not going to be playing, whose name is Alistair Cho. Thomas Racine is not with us right now, but he's going to be back next, I don't know, Saturday. I think he's going to come ride on Harvard's match. Hopefully he's training now because he can't train with us. And DLM, who's also out, he's going to be back on Friday, so in 2 days. So yeah, we're doubting that we're gonna have any results without some fundamental players on our lineup, but we're almost the full squad, so we can just hope for the good.
Yeah, has it been tough this year, especially with COVID? I heard the introductions for college squash has changed a little bit, like just having to deal with just COVID in general. Has it been tough for you?
Yeah, it's definitely been different. There's a lot of adjustments, I think we're just, at this point, we're pretty happy and grateful that we have a season, and we have in-person schooling. It's my last year, so I'm happy that it's not online anymore. I'm happy to be on campus and happy to be with the team, but we'll do whatever it takes. I think everybody's adjusting to this situation, and we totally understand that, the university, the NCAA, the CSA, they're trying to do their best to have a season, and at this point, it's been working. So we cannot complain. Yeah,
that's fair. So yeah, this weekend you have matchups against Dartmouth and Harvard. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I think you're gonna cruise through the Dartmouth matchup. But how are you feeling about the Harvard one? I think you're matched up with Victor.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling pretty good. I hope just my knee stays okay for the match. That's my only concern. But other than that, I feel pretty ready. I've been training good. I've got some good training in Houston, and since I got back, I've been training well. So the energy's been great. It's good to have also some time off from academics. Now we don't have any school. I work a little bit on my thesis here and there, but other than that, we have 3 sessions a day. So it's been all about working hard these 2 weeks and getting ready for the next big matches the next couple of months.
Are there certain matchups, individually speaking, that you keep an eye on or that you get really excited about playing against within the season of college?
Like individual matches as for me or as for the team?
Yeah, for you individually, considering how many good caliber players there are in college squash right now.
I don't really think about like my individual matches. I think which is totally like I feel I get excited about the team. I'm more like thinking about how the team perform, and that's kind of like sometimes put me off about my own match, which is not good. But I try to also focus on my match. I'm not looking forward to like any specific individual match for myself. I try to do the best I can to help the team win, and that's my main goal. Next weekend should be fun. Victor is he's also a top 20 player, so it's not going to be easy at all. Yeah. It's going to be a tough one. And they're also playing in a high tin, which is a completely different game than PSA. I'm guessing it will be a long match as well. So it's good to have that level at college squash. It just keeps you at a good level. The college squash has been probably as strong as ever now. So
I think a lot of people are saying it's the strongest right now. Yeah. Youssef, I got to ask, because I don't know if you've watched the other episode, but a lot of the college squash players I've had have all talked about the high tin versus low tin situation. And I think your name was brought up a couple times as well. But how do you feel about the difference between high tin and low tin? Does it frustrate you? Or
well, it does. I can't lie and say that it doesn't. A lot of times in practice, I feel that I'm hitting a perfect drop shot and it just goes into the tin. So I think there is an argument that we could play on a lower tin, especially that a lot of the college guys are playing professionally now, but they haven't done any progress on that. So we're not going to keep bragging about the low tin. I'm just trying to adjust my game, on a higher tin. I think on a higher tin, the margin for error is definitely higher, especially for an attacking guy like me who likes to go short. So I'm just trying to adjust my game on a higher tin, try to win ball in the back of the courts more, and play more safe, if that's the right word. But it's frustrating, but nothing we can do.
Yeah, I mean, it must be because your game is based on being able to attack at all angles, and I guess college squash kind of takes that away from you.
Yeah, that's true.
Another point that I'm curious about that might have been frustrating for you is training at Princeton. Obviously, you being back home in Egypt, you get to train with top caliber players, and you being more in a familiar environment. Has that been a frustrating factor as well throughout your college years, or have you just accepted that and moved on?
I think the first 2 years, it's definitely been affecting me mentally more than anything. I feel I was very, very concerned about how, I was always concerned that I'm not putting enough work in, because in Egypt, every day you feel tired, you're just sleeping because you're tired. You have 3 sessions a day, every day. So you train from 4 to 5 hours. You play practice matches with, top 10 players all the time, and you give 100%, and you see them give 100% every day. So here it's so different. I try, a lot of times I blame my studying as well, because I have to study 5 to 6 hours every day. And I feel that it's too much, but I think at this point, I try to get 100% out of every practice. I don't necessarily think that I have to do the same amount of work that I was doing in Egypt, because I don't have the same life as in Egypt. So I'm just trying to, if I have 1 hour or 2 hours a day, I just think how can I get 100% out of this practice. And yeah, it's been great actually this year, along with the fact that we have a better team. So I have better teammates to train with on a daily basis. And I see the desire and motivation to work hard as well. So that makes me want to give 100%.
Yeah. I mean, real quick, I want to also ask about your thesis. What were you writing your thesis on?
Well, I was initially going to write about Westernization in the Middle East from a cultural perspective. But I was actually asked to write about squash, which is super exciting.
What?
Yeah, I was my advisor. He's a big fan, and he knows me. Like he said like I'm super excited to hear why squash is so good in Egypt. Like from a political perspective, how does the government support squash in Egypt, and how what made squash so big in Egypt and all that stuff. So I'm at the point where I'm writing a draft about squash in Egypt, and hopefully can make some progress.
How many pages does this have to be?
This is 80 pages, so this is a long one.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know what thesis is, it's an independent study or research that college students do, and it takes a fuck ton of time to do. And that's incredible that you're doing a thesis and you're balancing a season and you're also playing in the PSA as well. So honestly, good on you for doing that. Do you have major goals this year as a senior as you're wrapping up Princeton in terms of, obviously I think the team championship is something you're definitely eyeing. I don't know if you've given a thought into the individuals tournament as well. I think that's always a great tournament to wrap up the season. Has that been something you've been thinking about as well?
Yeah, of course. I'm not overthinking about it, to be honest. Like, I definitely want to have my name on the trophy, but I'm just taking step by step with the team. There's a lot that we have to go through to get to individuals. As I said, I don't really think about my individual accomplishments during college. I'm more concerned about how the team perform and how we do in the big matches. So I'm definitely looking forward more about the next weekend and the weekend against Trinity and other weekends that we play as a team, but in nationals as well. And after that, I'm definitely gonna put everything I can to hopefully win individuals this time. But yeah, I'm not overthinking about it right now.
Yeah. So also a side note, I wanted to do a quick shout out to your brother. I don't know if he knows me, but I played against his high school numerous times.
Oh.
And I'm fairly certain he handed me my first bagel when I was in high school, which was quite the experience. Phenomenal player. And to which I wanted to ask you, was there a reason why you didn't take the same route as he did in terms of moving to the States when he was in high school? Because, I mean, if anything, your brother was very successful in that transition from high school, and he was continuously a phenomenal player throughout college as well.
Yeah, actually, ironically, I was the one who wanted to go to a high school in the U.S., and my brother wanted to stay. But I had to. I was playing a lot of British junior events. I was top. It was like number one under 15, 17. So I had to stay in Egypt and play some of the big tournaments and then get recruited. I got recruited by Harvard and Princeton, and eventually went to Princeton. I think my brother, he was vice versa. He wanted to stay in Egypt, but I think my parents really wanted him to study abroad, and I think since then he's been loving it. I think that's just destiny. Like, I'm not sure if I had traveled in the U.S. earlier, what would have happened to my career now. I don't know, but yeah, that was the decision my parents made.
They gave you the opposite of what you guys wanted. Yeah. You just mentioned how it was a decision between Harvard and Princeton, right?
Yeah.
For you, what was the difference maker for you?
I actually got recruited by Princeton a lot earlier than Harvard, and I think I was when Sean was talking to me. He was a lot more, I would say, like, straightforward. He was like, if you do this and if you do that, you can get in. I was pretty late about my applying to Harvard, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna get in. But I did visit, and when it was time to be committed, I committed to Princeton because of the higher chance that I get in. And yeah, I think I also on my Princeton visit I liked it a lot more than Harvard's. I liked the campus more. I think the only reason I would have chosen Harvard is because I was really good friends with Saad, who was #1 at the time. So we're pretty good friends in juniors, and I was talking to him about coming and stuff. But yeah, eventually, yeah, I'm happy I made this choice.
I mean, you'd also have to think about the team Harvard would have had if you went there as well. That would have been just that would have been illegal.
Well,
that shouldn't have happened.
It's unfair anyway, because I think they probably had the best team ever last year or the year before.
Yeah,
they were just so good. So yeah, I'm not. I can't imagine if I was on the team. Like that would be.
Yeah, no, I think that's why it's a lot more exciting this year, because I think it's a lot more even playing ground between the teams.
Yeah.
Well, as the past couple of years, it's been Harvard just running away with it, just having an unbelievable team. But another question I had was, going to even college squash a big decision for you, considering how successful of a junior player you were? Was there part of you that was just, screw this, I want to go straight professional?
I actually had a massive mental shift the first probably year of college. I think when I was a junior, I was treated like as a really big star and stuff, and I was a flashy kid, and I was like, I was like, this guy's the next Shabana. I've been hearing that a lot and stuff. So I was getting hyped a lot, so I was a little bit overconfident that I'm gonna win, I don't know, like 2 or 3 World Junior events and like win a lot of British Open titles. I eventually I won like a couple of British Junior Opens and US Junior Open, but I didn't. My goal was to win World Juniors and like I had enough of squash and then like go to study. But like when I look back, I think when I lost the last World Juniors in New Zealand, I felt like I didn't really do much with my junior career, and when I went to college, I was mainly thinking about how can I do both. How can I like study and be like the first person who maybe like do something like study in an Ivy League, but also do something big in his professional career. And I think I was just like, that was a big mental shift. Like I was a lot more disciplined, a lot more professional in the way I train every day. When I went back after freshman year for a whole year to train in Egypt, I was just training by myself. Like I was doing my own fitness program, and I was a lot more disciplined. So I made it to the top 50s, and it was a bigger motivation for me to like keep playing and keep pushing. And I'm just looking back, I didn't know I was gonna make it this far, but it was just the mentality was so different, and I think actually the fact that I didn't achieve as much as a junior played a lot and like played a big role in my professional career now. So
yeah, no, it's interesting for you to say that, because also I think one of the really cool things about you is you've made the transition from junior to the professional a lot better than a lot of even like world junior champs. And I guess you explained there about, I was going to ask, what do you think was the biggest factor in making your transition so smooth? Because it is a different ballgame between junior squash and the professional.
Oh, it's super different. And it's like the real, like in juniors, like there's a lot that you just were not exposed to. It's actually like when you go to professional, you just know that you're not going to get there without not working hard. Like the working hard is like the big part. Like is when was just a small part of what you can achieve and win matches in pro. So I think it was the only way for me to think this way, and just I think it was very hard in the beginning, but it's just has become a habit. And like until now, I just have the same attitude that I try to just give 100% in everything I do as a student and also as an athlete. So, and I'm happy I'm doing good in both. So
nice. So, do you still do your own thing for fitness and how you go about training, or do you have a coach telling you a regime to follow?
I have a fitness coach back in Egypt that I work with when I'm back. I pretty much have my own program here that I do besides the squash practice with the team. And sometimes I do lifts with the team, but not always because I have my own program that I do. I do call my fitness coach like twice a week or something, just to give him a heads up about what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm like most of the time I'm coming up with the stuff that I do, like in the gym or in the squash court, on the track. I'm probably more experienced now in the kind of fitness that I do, but it's just because of my coach. Like he's the one that has been giving me a lot of. I've been working with him for 2 years now, and he's been giving me a lot of new exercises that work pretty good for me, and I can't complain because the last 2 years have been great.
Yeah, I mean, on paper it looks great, and also it's pretty evident how much bigger you're getting every year on the PSA. So whatever he's doing, or whatever you're doing, it's working for sure. So you're graduating this year, and I've been following your Instagram, and you've been locking in some big time sponsorships as well. How are you feeling about this transition that you're going to be now a full-time pro?
Yeah, it's visual, it's different. I was just talking to my coach about the fact that, like, I was always playing for myself. Squash is very individual sports. You travel, you play, you lose. It's all about you. And when I didn't get any sponsors, I mean, I did get, like, my club was a sponsor for me, but it wasn't like, professional in any way. It was just because I was playing for the club league and stuff. But now things are becoming more official and more professional. So, everywhere I go, like in Egypt and tournaments, like my sponsors, they have people who support us every year. So it's good to have, it's such a good thing for an athlete to feel appreciated in that way. So, and for me, this is very new. So I feel like every time, in the beginning, I was feel a little pressure because I wanted to do so well because I signed up with like very, very good sponsorship companies and banks. So I just want to do also really good and make them proud. But I'm now thinking that more about my matches because that's the right way to think about it. I don't want to think about how to make them proud and stuff. So I just try to focus on my own thing, and hopefully if you do that, more sponsors would come, and that's what I learned in this process.
Wait, how'd you get those sponsorships? So you got one with the CIB Bank. Mm-hmm. And I also saw a big one with a construction company. I really hadn't seen any other players being sponsored by that company.
Yeah.
Or it could be.
Actually, this is like the biggest construction company in Egypt and probably in the Middle East. It's
wow.
It's called Ruscom, and they have like there's like Ruscom Construction and there's Ruscom Development who sponsors Laguna International, which is like a platinum event that it's probably going to be played in April. And they're the ones, it's owned by one of the Egyptian billionaires. He's called Sami Sawiris, and he has this company. So as real estate, they're working with real estate, construction, and most of the, like the CEO, I think he graduated from in college in the US. So I think mainly they wanted to sponsor me because I'm not just an top 20 player, but also because I'm a Princeton student, so which is great.
Yeah.
They know how hard it is here, so they reached out to me, and they saw my career as a student athlete, and they saw that I'm also playing professionally. So they said, like, we want to sponsor you, and I was delighted to hear it. So it's good.
Wow, that's amazing how they reached out. Wow, that's crazy. Are you going to be based in Egypt for sure after college?
That's the goal. I'm not 100% sure. I think Yeah, I probably will go back to Egypt to just finish my military service, which I have to do.
Oh,
So I think that's probably like I would say 60-70%. I would go back.
okay. Talk to me about this 30%. Where else could potentially places for you to station yourself?
There is a chance that I might stay in the U.S. and do masters, and apply for a green card, and take that route. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not a big it's not a big chance. But I'm definitely thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think if I didn't go back to Egypt, that would be the alternative option.
Right. Gotcha. So, quick reflection on 2021. You've made incredible strides in the rankings, had some brutal matches. If you had to pick one, what would you say is the most memorable match of 2021 for you?
Oh, 2021. That went by so quickly. It was your bragging match in Qatar in 2021. That was in
You played twice.
no, but like the
Right.
first one.
The first one, I think it might have been.
That was 2020. That was November.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. In 2021, I would say, probably, Makin's match in Manchester.
Manchester. Yeah, that was it's a crazy one.
Yeah, that one did sting a lot. So, but I had a good tournament, and yeah, probably I said. Like it's a tournament that I play with without any niggles and injuries and stuff, and I'm happy that I was also mentally consistent and I was playing very well. So I played that match pretty well. I think I was a little bit unlucky in the end. I made some errors, and I was rushing to win. But yeah, I think that was a good match.
Yeah, no, I was listening to your other podcast where you were explaining this match. Or you're saying like it really wasn't about you being tired, but it was just like you getting excited at the end in the fifth game. But one thing I've noticed is in a lot of your interviews is one of the biggest challenges you say you keep fighting throughout your career is the mental side of things. And I wanted to ask you in depth, what is the type of pressure that you feel? Is it something that you just internally battle throughout all your matches?
Yeah, I think mentally it's harder for me to like play, like I can play at a level like very, very well, and I feel that I can play and I can win every point, but I'm not sure how I can sustain that level. Like how long can I sustain that level for? It's just I don't know. I feel for the attacking players or shot players, it's about more the mentality than it is about the physicality. Like I feel like when I was a junior, I was feeling, physically tired. Like in the matches, I couldn't because I wasn't training as hard. Of course, that was part of it. But now that I feel that I'm, getting the work in, it's more about, the tactics and the mentality. There's just so much. People don't see it, but there's so much details. So much small details in every squash match. Tactically, physically, mentally. How you feel your opponent's feeling versus how you're feeling. So for me, it's about like how can I play every point. I think I play my best when I think about every point at a time, like about 1 point at a time, rather than think about the game itself. I'm trying to just hold that thought and just think about it this way every match.
Yeah, and I'm starting to think about what you said earlier about when you were a junior player and the pressure you got, being compared to Amr Shabana. And do you think that was affecting you during your junior career a lot as well? And it like affects you to this day or not really anymore?
At this point, not as much. I'm delighted to hear that people say that. Like Shabana was my idol and still is. And it's such a great thing to be compared to like an absolute legend of the game. I think when I was a junior, I was trying to play Shabana, but I wasn't. I was like, okay, Shabana, but I was like acting that I am, but I'm not, because I didn't deserve to be. I didn't deserve, like, I definitely, everything that happened to me as a junior, I deserved every loss that I had. I deserved every win that I had. So I didn't feel that I was a victim in any way, that I didn't win any of the world championships. But now I think that I've heard it a lot of times. I feel that we're actually like we're both left-handed, but we're two very different people. Even like with the way we approach the game. Of course, people can see some of the similarities because we're lefties and stuff, but I'm just trying to focus on my own game, and I would say I've definitely learned a lot from watching Shabana and still watching him right now and learning from him. But I'm also focusing on my own style and how can I develop my game forward.
Yeah. So moving on, we're going to do a quick fire segment. It's where I just ask you a bunch of short questions and then see what your answer is. I'm going to start with your thoughts on best of three.
Well, there's pros and cons. Pros, I would say that it's makes this quality of squash a lot better. Cons is that there's not as much excitement and there's not as much physicality as it is in best of five.
Do you think the system placed right now is perfect, where there are like one or two events sponsored for best of three?
I think if it's only one or two events, that's fine. I think if it's the whole tour, I'm not sure.
Another question I have was, in those best of three tournaments that we have so far, do you think it should be best of three all the way, or do you think it's right as of now where they do best of five in the finals?
I think it's right to do best of five in the finals. I think the game is as physical as ever, and some players now tactically their tactic is to play 20 minutes every game and make tire their opponents. So if you do best of three, that wouldn't work in their favor. So I would say, yeah, that's probably a good way to make a best of three tournament.
Gotcha. Thoughts on goggles and squash?
And goggles and college squash, or goggles and squash?
Well, let's do squash in general. In general,
no, I'm not a big advocate of goggles.
But how about in college squash then?
Neither college squash.
So you're not liking the goggles right now. Solo practicing or practicing in groups?
I'm a solo guy. I definitely like solo a lot more than.
Well, you're the first player I've interviewed who said solo practice.
Oh, I solo 4 times a week, so I have to say solo. I think solo is very important for creativity and trying new shots, new techniques, see what's working, what's not working. I think I like solo a lot. I think it makes me more involved and more loving the game.
Yeah, commentators for squash.
Probably PG and Joey.
Yeah. Thoughts on college squash?
Thoughts on college squash?
Like, you think it's good for squash in general, or not so good for squash in general?
I think it's good. I think it's important for diversity. I think it's encouraging for people who choose college squash as a path to get your degree and hopefully play in the pro tour after, whereas that was not the case 5 or 6 years ago. And now we have a lot of college squash players, as I said, who's already playing pro and who can make progress in the world rankings. So I think it's good. I think it's good. I think it's also increasing the popularity of squash in the U.S., which is awesome. No, I think it's good.
Thoughts on nicknames for PSA players?
Well, I like some, but I would definitely say the old ones were definitely the best. I think the new ones, they're probably not as accurate.
What are your thoughts on your own nickname?
Which is...
They call you the Golden Boy?
Yeah, they do. I think Squash Side called me that. I actually love it.
You like that one?
I'm going to say that I don't like it. I like it.
Coaching post-career?
No chance.
No chance?
I wouldn't make a good coach. I'm a very, very... so I don't have a lot of patience. That's one thing. And I don't think I would be able to replicate my career as a coach. I've seen a lot as a player already, and I will still see a lot in the next year. So I can't go through it again.
All right. Most underrated player on tour right now?
Ooh, that's a good one. Most underrated player. Wait, I think. Wait, can you narrow it down a little, like top 20 player or like in general? Or
I was asking in general, but is there someone you have in mind in the top 20 that you think is underrated?
oh, that's a tough one. Not really. I would say probably. I commentated on Sebastien Bombalé from France.
France, yeah, yeah.
I think he's a really good player. I think he can definitely be a top 20 player. So I think when I was talking to Parky about his match with Kandra, he was thinking that it was going to be free love street for win to Kandra, but I told him before match it's going to be 5-setter, and I was right. So
pretty spot on, yeah, yeah.
So he's probably underrated, but I'm sure he's like once he gets his experience, his level can definitely push forward to.
Yeah. Wait, so how'd you feel about commentating? Is that something you might be interested in doing in the future, or no?
No. I just do it for fun. Like, I think they had shortage in commentators, so I was like, I can do it.
All right. I have to ask now, most overrated player on tour right now?
Oh. Well, it's going to make a lot of people mad at me now.
Okay, you don't have to answer that. I can switch the question to one player that you dislike playing the most on tour right now.
That I dislike playing the most. Well, probably be maybe Makin. Because
is it the physicality? Would you say?
The physicality, but sometimes he uses his body a lot, so he blocks.
He blocks.
Yeah, so I don't like to play players who blocks.
I don't think he even hides it at this point. It's so evident when he's doing it.
It is. Actually, in Manchester, he didn't do much, but when I played him in Laguna, it was just a block fest. I don't know. Probably people who block.
Yeah. All right. Best college squash player right now, in your eyes.
Best college player right now. Well, best college squash isn't like professionally, or best college squash and just college squash, or both, or
just college squash right now for this season. Yeah.
I think probably I would say Victor and Ali Abulanin from Penn. I think Victor he's a solid player. He's making progress on the PSA World Tour, and he's classic French style player, which is good for the tour and also for college squash. And Ali Abulanin, who's also a great player. He's such he improves very, very quickly, and I'm sure he's definitely gonna make some big inroads in the PSA World Tour. So those are the top two.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see all of you guys graduate, jump into the tour. I'm going to switch over to some life-related ones. Favorite place you visited through squash?
Italy.
Italy. Wow, you didn't even hesitate a second for that.
No, that's easy.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Are you big on coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, every morning, or
every morning.
2 cups a day.
Sometimes 2 cups a day. Yeah.
Wow. Do you like to drink it right before matches? Mm-hmm. Oh wow. Okay, so we got a big coffee drinker here. Biggest fear?
Letting people that I love down.
Well, that just got really deep. Biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve?
A pet peeve is something that really annoys you.
Like an Achilles heel or something.
Or some other people said for their pet peeve as like being late. Other people being late.
Then I'll use that. That actually makes me really annoying.
Is it that one? Tennis or squash?
Squash.
Squash. Favorite movie?
I have a couple. Well, I would definitely say The Greatest Showman is up there.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It's a pretty recent one, right?
It's very recent, yeah.
Yeah.
Rocky, was it 4?
It's a classic.
4 or 5. And I have a lot. Fast and Furious 5. I'm into cars, so it's definitely also up there. And
well, hopefully a car sponsorship in the works right now for you.
Yeah, and all the Avengers movies.
All the Avengers, yeah. Have you seen the new Spider-Man movie?
I've seen it. It's pretty good.
Yeah. We'll not spoil what happens in that one. But favorite song?
Lose Yourself by Eminem and a song called The Fire by Rihanna.
That's a good one. What job or sport if it weren't for squash?
Probably an architect or an artist.
Oh, wow.
I like to paint and draw. And actually, hopefully, when I post-graduation, I would take probably art more seriously and learn how to paint on canvas and stuff, because I'm stuck at painting. I'm a decent drawer, but I also like to improve on that.
Is there a place where we can see your works? Do you have an Instagram for this?
I do not. I'm not good enough to post on Instagram. That's more of I think when I did my final project in Princeton, it was actually my first day. I took a visual arts class and I was drawing. So, and my teammates, they took all my my sketches and stuff. But I have some ones. I probably can show it later, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I posted one picture on my Instagram once.
Okay.
You can see it.
I'll look into that as soon as it's over. Favorite non-squash athlete?
Oh, non-squash. Muhammad Ali.
Favorite squash athlete that is active right now?
I would say Muhammad Ali and Lionel Messi. Sorry.
Okay.
Favorite what again? Sorry.
Squash player active on the tour right now.
To watch or person?
To watch. Let's do watch.
To watch. Right now, I would say, like, he's not doing very well, but he was always like the one to watch when he's playing at his best. He's delighted to, like, he's such a pleasure to watch. I would say Gawat.
Yeah, is he going through a foot niggle right now? In the past year, you think? Is that what?
That was the case probably a year ago, but now he's already healed from it. But I think he's just struggling to come back. But I think he'll get there hopefully soon. And when he's back, he's gonna be back to his best hopefully.
Give you a hard time cracking into that top 10.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do to wrap it up, a couple Instagram questions that I got. One person asked, a shout out to Fortune X and X. What's the meaning in the happy face on your strings?
That's not a happy face. That's the letter J and then O. So that's Joe. That's my nickname.
Oh, okay.
Or Joey. That's like also.
Gotcha. Is that going to be something that you're going to continue doing in the future?
I think once I have a racket sponsor, I would be, I would lose my sponsor right away if I did it. I think I'm just doing it for fun now because I'm still choosing rackets and seeing which rackets I like. But once I sign a racket sponsor with, I don't know what racket I'm going to use in the future, but I'll have to paint their logo on the stencil on the strings.
Oh, so you don't have a racket sponsorship right now?
Yeah. Still gonna get one hopefully after graduation.
Is there a company that you do like?
Well, there are a couple that reached out to me. I don't know because I haven't tried the rackets, and that's why I'm like delaying this because I got offers, but like I said, I'm probably gonna think about it now and choose over the summer when I come back because I already like the racket that I'm using now, but I'm not sure if I'm going to keep using it. So I'll try hopefully download Pyro again and maybe Unsquashable and Technifiber and see which ones I like the most.
I mean, hopefully they deal in a signature racket right away.
Hopefully.
If that's the case. I think this is a meme page. It's called No Context PSA. I actually checked that one out. It's pretty funny. Asked what's his training routine at college and who does he get coached by? Well,
our head coach is Sean Wilkinson. He's such a great coach, and love talking to him all the time. He's been helping me with a lot of issues, mental issues, about like squash and academics, and he's been a great support for me and for the whole team. So my routine is there's always a morning session, whether it's a feeding with a coach or fitness session, and most of the time, so normally I do 2 sessions a week, 2 sessions a day, and sometimes I get 3. So like in the morning, 8 a.m. is always either a gym session or a feeding session or a ghosting session, depends on the day. And in the afternoon at 4:45, we have a team practice for 2 hours from 4:45 to 6:45. And sometimes before practice, I also have, so that's like the practice where we play matches and drills. And if I'm playing matches early with one person, so I try to set up another hit either before practice or in the morning. So it depends on the day.
Wow, that's a tough schedule. Another person asked, Salah Helgeet asked, why are his quads so massive?
Oh, well, they're not as massive as other players, I'll tell you that. But I don't know, genes maybe. I do a lot of leg sessions, so that could be the reason.
And then last one, shout out Peter. He said, how is it like being a student at Princeton? Is it academically challenging?
It is for sure. It's one thing that I knew once I came here. I got a little bit screwed because I didn't know that Princeton is hard. But once I got here, because on my visit when I asked them, is it hard? I was like, no, this is okay. But it's definitely.
That's funny that you say that, and now you're doing a thesis as well. Yeah. So.
But yeah, it is challenging. But I think it's just I think my first year has definitely been the hardest. Although like the work keeps getting harder. Like as a sophomore, it's harder. As a junior, it's a lot harder. And as a senior, it gets a little better, apart from the thesis, which is going to be hard anyway, but the workload gets lower. But it is hard, but I think once you manage your time well and get adjust to the places that you can get help from, the resources, the university resources that you can use, your teammates, there's a lot of resources who just want to make sure that you succeed and have a good 4 years. So I think once you know that and once you manage your time well, you're going to be a lot better.
All right, now I have a question. Do you go out partying, Youssef, at Princeton?
In the first 2 years, I didn't, or I did, but not a lot, of course. That had to do with my workload and also my training. But now this year I've been going out a lot. I'm just enjoying it. I just want to get the full experience, and going out is a lot of fun here. It's a lot of fun.
Do you indulge in drinking as well?
Not really. No.
Not really. Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's it for the Instagram questions. I'm not gonna do a whole bunch, but those are the ones I picked, and I think I'm gonna wrap it up there, folks. Thank you to Youssef for joining in.
Thank you for having me. Had a good time.